So I thought it was about time that I reviewed the Sigma Premium Brush Kit, and I just first want to show you how it's packaged because I think it's so cute, and it's actually packaged a little bit better than the original kit that I got a long time ago. It's in their little infamous bags that they always package them in, which are great, and you can easily reuse them. And then you get this little information card about the brushes, and then of course you get the description of what each brush does and what you can use it for. And then it's wrapped in this like cardboard almost sleeve, really cute. And then you of course get the brush roll that you got with the other kit. It's the same one. It's like a black, almost like soft leathery material. Dun, 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 dun. So these are all the brushes. I hear someone coming. Hi. What are you doing? Did you come to say hello? Come here so everyone can see you. Come on, come on. Say hi, everybody. I miss you. Everybody's been asking to see him. He doesn't come in my videos anymore. The fame's totally got into his head, right, Jake? Totally. I love you. Okay, you can go back to doing whatever you were doing. You look so white on camera. You look so white. So this time around you get 15 brushes, but I was super excited for this kit because a lot of these brushes I didn't already have from MAC, and so I was excited to kind of play with them and find new uses for them and experiment, because a lot of the other brushes I had like the MAC alternative to, so I kind of knew what to expect and knew how to use it, but this was really fun and exciting for me. So, my phone's blown up. So, as you can see, I left the brush cards like on the bigger brushes because they help to keep the shape of the brush after I've washed them, and it kind of resets the shape. So yeah, that's an option. I like to do it. But you get 5, well, technically 7 face brushes and 7 eye brushes and then a lip brush. So I am going to compare them to the MAC alternative as I've done in the past. However, you should be aware that Sigma has reformulated their numbering system. So they're no longer like SS and then the MAC number. They're now their own. And I'm going to tell you what the number is and the former number to help you guys kind of get used to the new numbering system, because I'm still trying to get used to it. The first brush is the large powder, and it's F20, and I'll show you how the labels look now. It actually says what the brush is, which is really helpful. And this is previously the SS134. And basically it's just a large powder brush, a large paddle brush, shorter, stubby handle, which I like, gives you a lot of control. It's kind of wide, very thick, a little bit dense. And this is the MAC 134, which we can compare it to. And the MAC brush is like $50, so definitely a good bargain here. And primarily what I use for the large powder brushes is for MSF Natural or your foundation powder, and I also use it for bronzer, for contouring. I use the thick because it is thicker, but it's still narrow, so I use it to like contour my cheekbones. You could even use it for blush, contour your temples up here, you know, down your nose. It's just an all-over good coverage brush if you want to cover your whole face. So that is the F20. Next, I was super excited about this brush because I never had the MAC one, but I've always had it on my list to get. The MAC one is the 138. This one is the Tapered Face F25. And I have always heard about the MAC 138 from some of my friends, like Gina and Lisa. They always swore by it, and I never got it because, again, it was like $50. So now I don't need to get it because this pretty much does the same thing. And what I like to use this for is a contour. It's very tapered, and it comes to a point so you can get precisely exactly where you want, but then it's still thick enough that you can blend. So I use this a lot for cheekbones, for contouring your cheekbones, again with your temples, down your nose. Just a really nice powder brush. You could use it like all over for face powder. It's just really nice. It kind of has that point so you can get under here for concealer powder, translucent powder. This brush is amazing, super soft, it doesn't shed, and I really, really like it. Next is the Powder / Blush F10, and this is what it looks like. And previously it was the SS129. This is the MAC 129. These are them together. I have to say that this was the one brush that was kind of a letdown for me. I was kind of disappointed with this because I love my MAC 129 brush. It's like my favorite go-to blush brush. It's nice, it covers your whole cheekbone. So that's the standard that I hold when I think of a good blush brush, and this one just doesn't really compare. Again, it's the F10. It's very, very, it's almost too narrow. It is tall. It doesn't really give too nice coverage on your cheek compared to the MAC 129. You see the coverage difference. However, I would compare the F10 to the MAC 116, which again is a more flat tapered brush. And what I use the MAC 116 for is putting really, really pigmented blushes on that you just want in certain areas, like for a cute little flush there. That's what you could use the F10 brush for. But I wouldn't use this as like an all over cheek color brush, because for me it doesn't cover, I have like big chubby cheeks though, so it doesn't cover the whole area, but this definitely was kind of a letdown for me. Next is the Duo Fiber Powder Slash Brush, and it's the F15. Can also be compared to the MAC 131, and the MAC 131 was very limited edition, sold out, hard to find. They release it from time to time in collections. I have to say these are exactly the same brush, do exactly the same thing, look the same, application is the same. I use this for, again, really pigmented blushes that I need to sheer out, gel blushes because this does not tend to shed, anything that you want to sheer out, put lightly on. You could even do for foundation because it's a stippling brush. I really like that. It's a unique brush. Next is the tapered highlighter F35. This is kind of like the baby F25. You can see that they're very similar in shape, just a lot smaller. The comparable one would be the MAC 165. And I've reshaped this, otherwise it is full like this, but I've reshaped it since I washed it. And this is marketed as a highlight brush. I tend to use this more as like, again, contour. If you want a lot of control with a really dark pigmented bronzer and you don't want it to go all over, you just want it concentrated, I would use it for that. And then I was watching Jess at Picturesque Makeup, I'll put her link in the sidebar. She uses this for blush, and I never thought to do that, and now that's my new use for it because it kind of just applies the color and the shape and the application that you need. And so that's what I've been using this brush for, and I really, really like this brush. And again, this was the MAC alternative, was the one that was released in several collections and then discontinued, sold out. So it's, again, a limited edition brush that is kind of hard to find. This next brush is the Large Concealer F65. And I'm not sure the MAC alternative because I don't have it and never did. But this brush, I know the alternative for MAC is long discontinued. Like you can't even get it anymore. I've never even seen it released in a new collection recently. But it's nice for large concealing areas, including underneath your eyes. If you have like acne scarring or, you know, hyperpigmentation somewhere, you need a full coverage application of concealer. This is really nice. I also use this brush for cream blush because you can kind of just paint it on, and I really like the application. It's synthetic bristles, and I really like that. This brush is the F75. This is the concealer brush, which I don't have the MAC alternative, but this is for like little dibs and dabs, like little blemishes, breakouts. It's just nice nylon synthetic bristles, and from what I've seen in, like from being in the MAC stores, this is exactly like the MAC version of it. Okay, getting in, I'll do the lip brush, get that out of the way. This one is the little silver bullet, I like to call it, and it's the Lip LO5. And this one you can put, I like the cap because if you're like me and you have expensive handbags or any handbags that you take pride in, you don't want stuff getting all over, especially lipstick, you can cover it up and throw it in your bag. You can use it just small if you want to, or you could actually hook it on the end and it's nice and large. This would be nice if you're working on someone else that's like not you and they're sitting in front of you. Compared to the MAC 316, it's identical, and I can't even find mine, but I promise you it's absolutely identical. It's a silver bullet, has the cover, can hook on, the brush is absolutely the same. I don't really use lip brushes too much except for red lipstick and for like lip conditioners where you don't want to stick your finger in all the time, but it's very nice basic lip brush. Okay, eye brushes, which obviously are my favorite. First, I'll start with the Large Fluff E50. It's like this. The alternative to that is the MAC 227, which identical. These are exact same brush, do the exact same job. It's mostly used for highlighter, for that thick highlight underneath your brow. I tend to use it a lot for pigments lately, or for putting color, just one sweep all over your lid. It's large enough that it'll pack the color on really nice because it is dense. And then you could even turn it and carve out your crease or kind of buff away the edges with the tip of the brush, but it just puts all over color on effortlessly, and I really love this. Has been one of my favorite brushes like of all time. Okay, the next two brushes I'm going to talk about are by far my favorites from this kit and from MAC. First one is the Tapered Blending E35. The alternative to this one is the MAC 222, which has been a good favorite of mine for quite some time. These are identical, if not the Sigma one's better, because as you can see from the MAC, this is the MAC one, it's very long and tapered, whereas the Sigma is a little bit wider, fluffier. So typically I use the MAC one for just putting like outer crease work, but with the Sigma one, you can use for putting outer crease work, and you can also use it as a blending. This Sigma E35 is what I wish the MAC 224 would be. A brush that you can use to both place color and blend it out. It's like a 2-in-1, and I love it. The white goat hair. This is definitely a standout for me in the Sigma kit. Really like that brush. And the other one is hands down my favorite brush that I would recommend to everyone, and it's the Blending E25. The counterpart to MAC is the MAC 217. Mine's dirty. But the MAC 217 was one of the first brushes that I bought. It's universal. You can use it for everything. Same goes for the Sigma one. I use it for doing outer crease color V's, for blending, for putting color all over the lid. It's nice as a blending crease brush. It's also tapered enough and has a nice little belly that you could put color on all over. You could use it as a highlight. You could use it for concealer, translucent powder. I just love this brush. When Sigma released the little Travel 217, I was like, I really hope they make a larger version of it, because it's such an amazing brush and it's good for so many different things. Like, you could totally have a couple of these brushes and have them for all different uses, but the E25 brush definitely, along with the, oh, I forget the number, E35 are two of my favorite brushes from this kit. Next is the Small Tapered Blending E45. The MAC version is the, where is it? MAC 226. This brush, if you were one that never got the chance to get the MAC 226, is a great alternative. They are exactly the same. Again, this is shaped weird because of how I washed it and it dried. They're exactly the same. The MAC 226 sold out like wildfire, and I haven't really seen it released in a collection recently, so it's like on eBay now and crazy, so the Sigma one's a good alternative. I have the MAC 226 in my overrated products because I just don't really find too much use for this one. I don't use it all that much, and I would say the same about the Sigma. Nothing against the brush itself. It's just not a brush I reach for a lot because it's very tapered and pointed, so you can put the color in the outer V, but I find that it's almost too pointed, so you can't really blend the color really well, so you'd have to go pick up another brush and do that. That's why I really like the E35, because you can do both. So if you're one that missed out on the MAC 226 or you love the MAC 226, then the Small Tapered E45 is definitely a brush for you. It's just not a brush I typically use a lot, but it's exactly the same as the MAC one. Next one is Short Shader E20. This is comparable to the MAC 214, which I've had on my list for some time. Now I can cross it off. And it's basically, I like to nickname this brush the little nubby brush. It's like a little nub. Do you see that? It's like a little mini 239. It's like really short. It's extremely dense. And this brush is used for many different things. I love this brush. And the thing that I use it for the most is for smudging color on your lower lash line. You can't really do it with the 239 because it's too big. This, it does it effortlessly. So smudging on the lower lash line, blending out the upper lash line, or if you set eyeliner with a powder shadow, it's great for that. Another thing that I've recently used this for is for putting gel liner on the waterline. It's nice that you can just kind of tap it on there and it applies the color really nicely. And even for on the upper waterline, it's thin enough that you can get a precise application of eyeliner and then blend it out. I just really love this brush, but it's typically used for, it's a smudger brush. That's what you would typically use it for, but I think this is really unique and I really like it. Next is the Sigma E10, and it's the small eyeliner. Piece of hair in my mouth. This is very teeny tiny, and I don't have the MAC version, but this is like, if you ever struggle to get precise, thin, like almost flawless eyeliner application, this is the brush for you because it does just that. It's impossible to make a thick line with this unless you go back and keep layering the liner. If you just do one sweep across your lash line, you will get the thinnest application of it. So it's really a great brush for that. I typically tend to like a little bit thicker eyeliner, so this is a little too thin for me and I would have to go back a couple times and go over it and thicken it up a little bit. But if you if you're a beginner, if you're trying to get the precise liner for like a thin cat eye or something, the E10 is really good brush for that. And the last brush is the Sigma Flat Definer E15. And again, the MAC version of this is the 212, which I don't own but always wanted to. And I was very intrigued by this brush. I always saw this as an eyeliner brush, but I was always like, how do you use that? Well, I've found this to work really well for putting eyeliner on like this way. A lot of people put the brush handle down and sometimes it's hard to get like the outer corner or something like that. You can actually stand this brush upside down and place the color on the upper lash line so much easier. So if you like make a mistake and you don't want to like go, you don't want to go over it or smudge it with your finger, you can just take this brush and put it upside down and just blend it out or smudge the color, whatever you need to do. This is a really unique brush. I've never seen one like this before. Typically what I use this for is for putting gel liner on the upper and lower water lines. It's really easy to do on the lower because you can see you just kind of stamp it onto your waterline. But if you're a baby like me and a scaredy cat, I love putting like Black Track or Bobbi Brown gel liners on the upper waterline, but I'm a big scaredy cat when it comes to it because I always feel like I'm going to poke my eye out. Well, this is perfect for that because it's wide enough that you can just, again, kind of hold the brush far out and just lift your upper lashes and you just get right underneath there and just stamp the color right onto your upper waterline. So it's a really great brush for tight lining, good for beginners or for, like I said, people like me that are scared to get in there. It's like the perfect shape brush and you can just lift your lashes. You could also use this to separate your lashes, like if your mascara clumps or something like that, you can use it to feather your mascara. So that is the E15, and that is the entire set. So I feel like the number one question that I'm going to get from everyone is, well, which kit should I get if I've never bought Sigma before? And here is my response to all of you. I would get the kit that's going to best fit your needs. If you are a beginner, a young girl that can't really afford a lot of MAC brushes, or somebody who's just starting out with makeup, or somebody who is a makeup artist who doesn't want to spend a lot of money on brushes, go with the original basic kit because those have all of your essential brushes that you need to do anything that you want to do. Now, if you are a makeup artist and you have all of your essential brushes and you've had them for years, well, obviously get the premium kit. But the premium kit brushes are more, I'm going to say, technical brushes to do more intricate things. They're not your basic everyday brushes. You can still get the same looks that you can and achieve the same things with these brushes as you can with the other ones, but these are just going to be a little bit more detail oriented with your applications and things like that. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye!